So last we were dealing with the topic that is HGP, Human Genome Project. So this Human Genome Project, that is why it is called as a mega project, that we have already discussed yesterday. There are certain reasons that which made it a mega project, right? So that is a Human Genome Project or the HGP. Now after this all was done, कल हमने क्या पढ़ा था कि there was मतलब बहुत ज़्यादा cost लगा है, cost estimation billions में था, that was $9 billion है ना. So that is cost बहुत ज़्यादा लगा, बहुत ज़्यादा मैन पावर चाहिए थी, and even डाटा बहुत ज़्यादा था जिसको स्टोर करके रखना was a big challenge. ठीक है, तो ये सब चीजें तो हमने पढ़ ली कि why it was called as a mega project और क्या क्या इनको जो conditions है वो face करनी पड़ी. ठीक है, and after this was completed, what data have they provided to us? We can't read out the whole data. We can't read out and figure out all the points from that data what they have made it, but we can just write some very important points. We call them as the salient features. Okay, the very important points of this HGP, that is the Human Genome Project. So that is again our next question. This is what are the various salient features of HGP. The salient features means the specialized features or the unique features of the HGP. So yesterday we also wrote one of the feature, कल हमने एक लिखा भी था, and that was the count of the base pairs. Can anyone please tell me how many base pairs does it has? Yesterday we wrote it. Yes. It was 3 into 10 raised to power 9 है ना, कल हमने लिखा था. So this is approximately, this is having 3.1647 billion of the base pairs. So this human genome that contains 3.1647, कल approximate value दिया था आपको. So this is human genome that contains 3.1647 billion base pairs, and these they make out about the total number of the genes जो इसमें से available होंगी. What are the total number of the genes available? They are approximately 30,000. 30,000 genes were available. Okay. ये ह्यूमंस में है, और अगर हमें ड्रोसोफिला मेलानोगास्टर के कंसर्न में आता है तो व्हाट इज द कंपैरिजन ऑफ द जीनोम ऑफ द ह्यूमंस एज वेल एज दैट ऑफ द मेलानोगास्टर, दैट इज ड्रोसोफिला मेलानोगास्टर. क्योंकि आपको याद है ड्रोसोफिला के ऊपर टीएच मॉर्गन एक्सपेरिमेंट्स किए थे ह्यूमंस के बारे में जेनेटिक्स जो है स्टडी करने के लिए. सो दिस इज, अगर हमें इनका दोनों का कंपैरिजन पूछा जाता है, सो फॉर दिस इज फॉर ह्यूमंस एंड फॉर दिस ड्रोसोफिला मेलानोगास्टर इट इज 1/24. ओके, 1 out of 24th part, 1/24 आप लिखते हैं ना रेशियो में, this is fraction में 1/24 like this, right? So this is 1/24th part of this total length of the human genome is that of the Drosophila melanogaster, and it has approximately, which is approximate equal to 132 millions of the base pairs. This has 3.1647 billion base pairs, and that has only 132 million base pairs, which is nearly approximately 1/24 of the human genome, right? Now this genome and the gene count is approximately known to us, but the function of nearly 50% of the known genes, 50% of genes जो हमने पढ़ ली हैं उनमें से 50% ऑफ जीन्स का फंक्शन अभी तक अननोन है. मतलब उनका फंक्शन जो है वो अभी तक हमें नहीं पता है कि इसमें हो सकता है न्यू पब्लिशाइज्ड जो बुक्स हो उनमें कहीं ना कहीं ये मेंशन किया हो फॉर द हायर क्लासेस, फॉर द हायर डिग्रीज, कि जो जीन्स थी वो 50% से थोड़ा कम काउंट हो गया हो सकता है. बट स्टिल इट वाज फ्रॉम दिस एचजीपी जो उसने फीचर्स निकाले थे कि जब इन्होंने पढ़ा सारे जीन्स के बारे में, जो टोटल काउंट ऑफ द जीन्स था उनमें से 50% ऑफ द जीन्स का जो फंक्शन था दैट वाज अननोन. ठीक है, क्लियर? नेक्स्ट इज, हम बोल रहे हैं कि इतने सारे बेस पेयर्स हैं, इतने सारे जीन्स हैं इसके अंदर, बट यहाँ पे एक और कंसर्न उन्होंने दिया कि जो साइज ऑफ द जीनोम है, जो साइज है जीनोम का, जैसे अभी हमने दो साइजेस कंपेयर किए, एक ड्रोसोफिला मेलानोगास्टर का और दूसरा ह्यूमंस का. ठीक है, हम तो कह रहे हैं इट इज 1/24 पार्ट. तो यहाँ से आप एक चीज फिगर आउट कर सकते हो कि मे बी द ड्रोसोफिला ऑर्गेनिज्म इज अ स्मॉलर ऑर्गेनिज्म, है ना, वो छोटा ऑर्गेनिज्म है, तो इसलिए हो सकता है उसके अंदर जो जीन्स है इसलिए वो थोड़े से कम है. बट उन्होंने ये भी एक पॉइंट बताया कि जो साइज ऑफ जीनोम है दैट इज नॉट एट ऑल कनेक्टेड विद द this complexity of the organism. Okay, so the size of genome is not connected, or you can say associated, or somehow correlated. Okay, so the size of the genome is not connected with complexity of organism. Complexity of organism. Clear? हाँ जी. देन इसके बाद अब जो हमने पूरा प्रोसेस पढ़ा, पूरा हमने फीचर्स पढ़े इसके थ्रू आउट, हमने पढ़ा कि देयर इज अ पर्टिकुलर सेट ऑफ जीन्स दैट विच आर कोडिंग फॉर समथिंग, है ना, फॉर द एटलीस्ट एट लास्ट जब भी हमने कल ये सेंट्रल डॉग्मा पढ़ा तो हमने देखा कि जो सेट ऑफ जीन्स है वो डीएनए डुप्लीकेट करवा रहा है, उसको रेप्लिकेट करवा रहा है, फिर ट्रांसक्राइब हुआ, ट्रांसलेट हुआ, एट लास्ट व्हाट इज रिक्वायर्ड इज अ प्रोटीन्स आर रिक्वायर्ड, है ना. सो दिस वाज आल्सो फिगर्ड आउट दैट फ्रॉम द टोटल जीनोम approximately less than 2% of the genes from the whole of the total genome, less than 2% of the genes, they or the less than 2% of the genome you can say, that has the coding sequences that codes for the protein synthesis. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे इसकी coded information जो है that is for the protein synthesis, that is approximate you can say provided to the genome which is less than 2%. मतलब पूरे genome में से it is less than 2% of the genome पूरा constitute करता है, जो कि coding provide करता है और protein synthesis में help करता है. इसको लिखो coded information that is for protein synthesis, right? Now lastly there is many other points are also there. One more point you have to write, that is the Y gene, Y chromosome जो है, that contains least number of the genes, that is approximately 231 genes on it. That is the Y chromosome that has the least count of the genes. Y chromosome that has the minimum number of the genes, 231. And chromosome number 1. Chromosome number 1 means in your karyotype you have 1 to 23 pairs, right? So the chromosome number 1 that has the maximum number of the genes which is 2968 genes. ये question आपको आता है, that is name a chromosome which is having the minimum number of the genes and how many are they, or name a chromosome that is having the maximum count of the genes and how much is it, right? So this is a 1 or 2 marks question which is there in your papers. So these are some of the salient features that of the HGP, right? Yesterday we did what are the various reasons why this is called as a mega project, and now it is the salient features for HGP. What are the various features that provided us the information that was provided to us through this HGP, and this is only just a few of the points, and rest जो हैं वो points आपके और जो points हैं you can read it out from the different sources. Internet पे देखेंगे तो there is a long list of the salient features from this HGP. Okay, these are only a few points selected out of it, right? There is also one more point you can write, that of the DNA repetitions, है ना? So they also found out that there are certain regions in the DNA, that is along the length of the DNA, that which repeats themselves several times. Okay, the special structure which is created over the chromosome for the repeated sequences, that structure is called as a satellite, and that repeated DNA वाला जो structure जो satellite के अंदर present होता है उसको हम बोलते हैं satellite DNA. आपको याद है chromosome के ऊपर 11th में हमने ये structure पढ़ा था, that there is a centromere, then there is a chromosome having the 4 arms of the 2 chromatids. So this is the structure of the chromosome, a general structure, है ना? But if there are the DNA repetitions are there, repeated DNA is present, then this will be having the satellite over it, that is the secondary constriction will be seen. This is the primary constriction, हम इसको primary constriction बोलते हैं. This is the secondary constriction, and this secondary constriction results into the satellite. This structure is called as satellite over the chromosome, and the DNA which is like ये DNA है, and it is randomly repeated, मतलब वो randomly repeated है और repeated DNA सारा इसके अंदर present होगा, ठीक है? So that DNA is called as the repetitive DNA or the satellite DNA. So this way it is the DNA which is present all along the length, but repeated zone is present within the satellite DNA. Okay, so this is the satellite DNA is the part of the DNA which has the repetitive sequences. Repetitive sequences. That can be the satellite DNA can be of more count. मतलब जो satellite DNA है उसमें hundreds of the जो base pairs हैं वो repetitions show करते हैं. But if it is like just only a few of the repetitions are made, then we call that particular fragments, smaller fragments of the smaller sizes. We call them as VNTRs. That is the variable number tandem repeats. It is when it is 11 to 60 of the base pairs are present. When only 11 to 60 base pairs. This is in hundreds. ठीक है, approximate hundreds में होते हैं तो ये satellite DNA कहलाया जाएगा. But when it is approximately 11 to 60 of the base pairs are present, then these small fragments of the DNA they will be called as the VNTRs. What is the full form of this VNTR? That is variable number tandem repeats. And these VNTRs that plays a significant role when we'll be studying the next topic, that is of DNA profiling. That is the DNA fingerprinting, which is the last topic of your this chapter. Right? Any questions from here? I have 2 videos to be shown to you people. If you have any questions from here, beta, you can please tell me. Yes. Anybody having any question? Nothing? Okay. So we completed the 2 of the topics, that is replication and translation, and also we have viewed the videos of them, that which makes your concept more easier. Similarly, we completed after that 2 of the more processes mechanisms, that was of translation and gene expression. Okay. So now today I'm going to show you the 2 videos of the translation as well as the gene sequence, sorry, gene expression. That is a lack of it on. Okay. So just wait for a while, and please let me know if you are capable of looking into it. Auntie beta, my screen is visible to you all. My screen is visible. Can you please provide that thumbs up? Yashika, is my screen visible? Okay. Thank you, thank you.
Protein synthesis, translation. Inside the body, the process of translation occurs within every single cell. Each cell has a nucleus. After transcription, mRNAs move out of the nucleus and enter the cytoplasm. This mRNA strand acts as a template for protein synthesis. Present in the cytoplasm is an enzyme, amino acid tRNA synthetase. The enzyme macromolecule has 2 binding sites. One site recognizes the amino acid methionine. This is followed by the binding of the ATP molecule and release of pyrophosphate, resulting in activation of amino acid. Finally, the tRNA and the activated amino acid bind together.
Anji bache, so this is, I hope this process of translation is very much clear to you people. Anybody having any question, any doubt? Anji, you can raise your hand if you have any question. Was it all clear? Yashika, was it all clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Voice was audible to you? Yes, Shivam.
मैम आवाज तो आई नहीं रही थी, आपने म्यूट किया हुआ था ना अपने आप को.
Acha. That is why I was asking you the voice was clear or not. Okay, but the process was clear in itself, I think. I am going to show you the another one. If we'll be having the time, then I'll show you this again, right? Because the
Okay,
time
ma'am.
is going to be over. I thought मेरी आवाज बीच में disturbance ना create कर रहा हो. Sorry for that. Okay, so this is another video that is for LAC Operon. Okay, LAC Operon system, how it works. So this is also just to clarify your doubts, right? So let us see this one also.
Hello everyone, today we are going to learn about lactose operon or LAC operon. The bacterium E. coli possesses a highly effective lactose metabolism process. The LAC operon is a single expressible unit of DNA that encodes three proteins crucial in lactose metabolism. If lactose is not present in the growth media, the bacterium does not waste energy by expressing these proteins. These proteins are only produced when lactose is present to be metabolized. We will learn how lactose activates the expression of these lactose metabolizing genes through this animation. In the absence or presence of lactose, the LAC repressor protein encoded by the LAC-I gene is produced. The LAC repressor attaches to the LAC operator site in the absence of lactose. Like a DNA roadblock, repressor binding to the operator stops the RNA polymers from progressing. LAC structural genes are unable to be transcribed by RNA polymers, hence no proteins are produced. Lactose binds to the LAC repressor's allosteric site when it is present in the cell medium. The repressor's conformation is altered as a result of this. The repressor can no longer attach to the LAC operator site in this configuration. RNA polymerase is able to transcribe the structural genes without the repressor inhibiting it. The LAC structural genes are thus expressed in the presence of lactose. Lactose metabolism needs the proteins encoded by the Z and Y genes. The LAC operon is an inducible system, which means it is switched off until an inducer lactose is introduced. Other operons, such as the TRP operon, works in the reverse way. This system produces gene in the operon until a repressor is activated, which then shuts down the expression.
So this is clear now. This is also the concept of the LAC operon, and there was no animated type of the video for this. The one which was available, which it was not that good. Okay. So still 5 minutes are left. I think we will be completing this particular video again. Replay. Yeah. This is of
Protein
5
synthesis, translation. Inside the body, the process of translation occurs within every single cell. Each cell has a nucleus. After transcription, mRNAs move out of the nucleus and enter the cytoplasm. This mRNA strand acts as a template for protein synthesis. Present in the cytoplasm is an enzyme, amino-acyl tRNA synthetase. The enzyme macromolecule has two binding sites. One site recognizes the amino acid methionine. This is followed by the binding of the ATP molecule and release of pyrophosphate, resulting in activation of amino acid. Finally, the tRNA and the activated amino acid bind together. This amino-acylated tRNA is known as MET-tRNA and is released from the enzyme. This marks the commencement of first stage of protein synthesis, the initiation stage. During the A initiation stage, a small subunit of a ribosome binds to the mRNA strand. The mRNA strand is made up of codons, which are sequences of 3 bases. Then the ribosome subunit moves along the mRNA in 5' to 3' direction until it recognizes the AUG codon or the initiation codon. At this point, MET-tRNA possessing the anticodon UAC pairs up with the AUG codon of the mRNA. Then a large subunit of ribosome combines with a small ribosomal subunit. The large subunit shows 3 sites: the acceptor site or the A site, the peptidyl site or the P site, the exit site or the E site. This whole unit forms the initiation complex. This is followed by the elongation stage. During this stage, another tRNA carrying molecule of an amino acid approaches the mRNA ribosome complex and fits in the A site. Then a bond is formed between methionine and the amino acid molecule on the tRNA. As a result, MET-tRNA becomes deacylated. The ribosome then advances a distance of 1 codon and the deacylated tRNA shifts to the E site from where it dissociates. Meanwhile, another tRNA carrying an amino acid molecule attaches to the A site. This is followed by the binding of the amino acid molecules. Repetition of this process leads to the formation of an amino acid chain. This event is called elongation. Finally, when the UAG codon or the stop codon reaches the A site, elongation is terminated. Termination is the last stage of protein synthesis. The chain of amino acid molecules is released from the ribosome. This released amino acid chain is the protein, and this part of protein synthesis is known as translation. Then the tRNA detaches from the mRNA. Ribosome detaches and dissociates into its small and large subunits. Summary. Protein synthesis shows that the first stage involves the binding of MET-tRNA to mRNA and the small subunit of the ribosome. The larger subunit of ribosome then combines with the small subunit. Second stage is the elongation stage. In this stage, the incoming amino acid tRNA fits in the A site. Then a bond is formed between methionine and the amino acid molecule on the tRNA. The process is repeated until a chain of amino acid molecules is formed. The last stage of protein synthesis is the termination stage. When the ribosome reaches the stop codon UAG, elongation stops and the newly formed amino acid chain, which is the protein macromolecule, detaches from the ribosome. Subsequently, ribosomal subunits along with the tRNA dissociate from the mRNA.
So Students, is this all clear? I hope the things are clear to you now. And anybody having still any question from the two videos, if you have any doubt?